want to talk about INFPs again. Big surprise. That's like the only thing I've been talking about lately. Just a little obsessed, like a little bit. Um, but yeah, I want to talk about jobs that are usually a good fit for INFP personality types. And I thought this was a pretty good subject to discuss because, um, as an INFP myself, I've been through like lots and lots and lots and lots of jobs in an effort to find out where I fit in. And I still, like, even in the job that I'm in now, which is like writing, um, I love it, and it is a good fit for me to write. But I also still feel like there are other things that I could explore. Um, so anyway, I just wanted to take some time to talk about jobs that I've done as an INFP that I really, really enjoyed and were a great fit for my personality, and that other INFPs seem to really like. So if you're on the lookout for something that are searching for a career that really suits you, then maybe this will help a little bit. Okay, I'll stop rambling and get to the point. First of all, one thing that I did for a long time was wedding videography. Um, what I think works about being a videographer for an INFP is you get to be super creative. You get to be behind the camera and when you're behind the camera, you bring the audience into your perspective. Like your goal is to get your audience to see the world in the beautiful way in which you see it, which would hopefully be like a romantic, um, super happy, super glossy and pretty way. So it's like a form of storytelling, except it's visual. So being a visual storyteller would be like a great fit for an INFP. I really enjoyed doing that for a long time. The part of it that was hard though is that I had my own business doing it, and I'm not good with like money or marketing all by myself. I'm terrible at that. So I mean, I'm sure other INFPs might be really good at those aspects of the business. And if you are, then that's like awesome. And wedding videography, that could be a job that will last you for a lifetime because you can make a great name for yourself in your town or city. And you could have weddings booked like every weekend and make tons of money doing that and enjoy the creativity of it. So I think it's a really fun job. And along those same lines, also photography. And that is even a little bit more logical than videography, I think, because with photography, that opens up more avenues or more opportunities to get work for you. Because you have like school picture day at all the schools in your city or town. You have like family portraits that you can get work at. So it's not just weddings or um, bar mitzvahs or bat mitzvahs or whatever. It's like there's tons of stuff tons of events that open up for you when you're a photographer instead of just a videographer. Another good thing, the career that I'm in right now is television production, which is really just like writing for television. And right now, the aspect of television production that I work in is news. So I'm learning to write for the news, which is a good way. Like it's teaching me not to be so wordy. As you can tell from the way I talk, I'm quite wordy when I write too. So it's like helping me to get to my point quicker. And also, like writing is usually something that INFPs are really good at. So it's something we feel comfortable with. And if it weren't for the writing aspect of working in television news, I would be completely out of my element. Because everyone else around me, to be honest, in this industry, like everyone else just about is an extrovert and they're super loud and like bossy and I don't fit in at all. But I like writing so, so, so much. So that part of it I think is well suited for our personality type. Oh, another thing that I really enjoyed doing for a long time was teaching. It doesn't necessarily have to be like school teaching, but like tutoring. Or I did volunteer work. I actually had Bible studies with people, like where I'd have little classes where I teach them about the Bible. But I enjoy teaching people. It's fun to sit down um, with a small group of students. I'm not so great with large groups, but smaller groups of students or one-on-one, like where you get to know the student, you learn how they learn, and then you're able to teach them whatever they need to know. And one thing that teaching taught me is it showed me how beautiful and unique everyone is. And as an INFP, I know that's something you're really going to appreciate because we love getting to know other people, like getting to see how their brain works and then encouraging them to open up other aspects of their brain and other ways of thinking. It's like teaching is one of the most exciting jobs I've ever had because it's like teaching someone or helping someone else explore their own potential. So teaching is just fun. The only downside of it is when you have a student who's going through a difficult time and it's almost impossible to help them. Like that happened to me where I actually got the reason I had to kind of take I guess you could say a leave of absence from it was because I got so emotionally invested in a few of the students and it was just too much for me to handle what they were dealing with because I'm not a therapist, a licensed therapist. So that's the only difficult aspect of it is when there are some things that you just can't help a person with. Sure, you can be there for them and support them, but you can't fix everything in their life. So that's the only bad thing. Okay, moving on. Another interesting career that you would probably like is sign language interpreting. And I know that probably sounds really random to a lot of people, but for a lot of INFPs I've noticed, language comes pretty easily, like learning another language. And sign language tends to come very easily for us too, because while sometimes we have difficulty expressing ourselves verbally, we're really good at understanding our emotions. And with sign language, for some reason, that I feel like it's because it's a physical language, like you use your hands, it's easier for me to express myself in sign language than it is for me to express my feelings in English, which is my mother tongue. I'm not deaf, and my parents aren't deaf, but for some reason, because of the emotions involved in using my body to communicate, it's just easier for me to communicate in sign language in English. So, I find that sign language interpreting is often a good field for INFPs. Another area that we're usually pretty good at is graphic design, because we can be very, very meticulous, about our art. And you have to be that way when you're involved with graphic design. You have to make stuff look right for your client. The only maybe difficult part of that for INFPs is when you have a picky client and you can feel like, okay, this is my art, but I'm not really in control of it because I'm doing this for someone else. And they're kind of like all over you, wanting you to do stuff their way. That can be a little bit difficult for us because we don't really appreciate being told what to do usually. So, yeah. Okay, another good career is acting. Um, another, um, you have to be like really in tune with your emotions to be an actor. And so INFPs are that naturally. Like we like to sit down and think, okay, why am I feeling this right now? Do other people feel this way? Yada yada. When you're an actor, you have to do that with each character that you put on. So that's really like such an average, everyday, natural thing for an INFP to do. Because honestly, like when I meet someone new and I'm engaging in conversation with them, one of the first things I automatically do is try to put myself in their shoes. I try and figure out, okay, what are they thinking right now? I look at their body language and everything and try and put that on. So I'm kind of like becoming them for a second. Well, that's basically what acting is. You become someone else. So it's usually pretty easy for us to be actors. The only downside to that, though, is sometimes we're really shy, and when we go on auditions, which I have done, and I'm terrible, terrible, terrible at. Like, I know I can act, but when it comes to being judged by like a panel of people in this cold, sterile room, I really am terrible at it. So shyness takes over. And also you have to believe in yourself a lot when you're an actor, because you're going to get rejected no matter how good you are. And sometimes we do have a bit of difficulty, I think, believing in ourselves. ENFPs tend to be a little bit better at that, from my perspective. But you can do it. If you want to be an actor, you can do it. Another good career, which is going to sound kind of crazy, is stand-up comedy. Because we're often quirky, a little strange, but we notice things that a lot of people think but don't really say. That makes us a really good fit for stand-up comedy, as long as we don't mind addressing our personal opinions and all of our embarrassing secret thoughts to large crowds of people, because that's what that's what a comedian has to do. Another job that is good for us is working in a non-profit organization. I did that for like a year. Well, actually, I did that for longer. Okay, but I did that not just voluntarily, but like actually making money in a non-profit for a year. And I really enjoyed it. It made me feel like I was having an impact on my community, but I also got paid for the work that I was doing. So I was able to kind of support myself and support the people around me, and it made me feel like a valuable member of society, which is something that's really important to most INFPs. We want to feel like we're making a difference in the world. And I think that's it. I also I have this little list of jobs that I'm looking at, and the last one on the list is become Princess of Fartland, but that's not really an actual career. But it is something I would want to do, like become a princess of a land called Fartland, but that is ridiculous. So yeah, those are just a few jobs that if you are right now kind of at a crossroads in life and you're wondering, what should I do? Where do I fit in? There's so many career paths open to you. And usually, if you have our type of personality, you want something that allows you to be creative, that allows you to be around other people and yet not be controlled by them. And something that lets you kind of explore yourself and the other people around you. So I hope that you find success in your career aspirations and that you also have a really good day. Thank you for watching, if anyone watches this. Okay, bye!